Hey everyone, Carlopix here, and today I thought I would do a requested crochet tutorial on how to do the bobble stitch while following a graph. So it's quite simple and it's quite repetitive, so you'll get used to it in no time. And for a look at a finished product using this particular technique, please have a look at my mushroom bobble video. I have left the link in the description box below. So let's just get into this one. Now I am using 3 colors of worsted weight yarn, all acrylic, nothing simple, the cheap stuff. Yeah, this is all from my stash. And I'm using a size H or a 5.0 millimeter hook. And then, of course, my graph. Now I've just quickly made up some very simple graph just for demonstration purposes, but you can make your own graph, you can grab them offline. They can be as big or as small as you want and have as many colors as you want. But for demonstration, we'll just keep it simple. But yeah, this tutorial is going to assume that you know how to do some basic crochet, such as starting, chaining, single crochets, and knowing double crochet would help, but it's not necessary. I will show you how to do the bobble stitch, and I will show you how to do the color changes. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Now to start your project, you need to do first your string of chains. And in order to calculate how many chains you need is very simple. First, what you need to do is take the number of squares of cross you got going for your graph. You'll multiply that by 2, and then you'll add 1 more chain to that. So here I've got 5 squares in my graph. Multiply that by 2 is 10, and then add 1 more. I've got 11. So I'll need to do 11 chain. Let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I've got my 11 chains there. Kind of ugly, but yeah, I'm going to blame it on the yarn. But for your next row, it's going to be a row of single crochet. And you're going to start in the second chain from the hook. So that way when you go all the way across, you should end up with 10 single crochets. Because I started with 11 chains, you should end up with 10 single crochets. So let's do that now. So second chain from the hook, single crochet. Okay, so I've got my 10 single crochets. We're ready to start the bobble row and to start the first row of our graph. Now, I tend to read my graphs from bottom to top and then right to left. That's just my preference. You can read it in any direction just as long as you keep it consistent throughout that whole project. So to start your bobble stitch row, you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to turn your work. And then in the very first single crochet stitch from the last row, you're going to do your very first bobble stitch. Bobble stitch is very easy, it's just repetitive. So to do the bobble stitch, you're going to yarn over. You're going to go into that first stitch. You're going to pull up a loop, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Then you've got 2 loops left on your hook. You're going to do that again. Yarn over, into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. You've got 3. So you're going to do that again. Yarn over, same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And one more time. Yarn over, same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So at this point you should have 5 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 5 loops. And that there is your first bobble stitch. However, you do need to complete that by doing a single crochet in the next stitch. So we'll do that now. Single crochet in the next stitch. And that there is what makes your bobble pop out and make it a cute little bubble. But yeah, there's that first bobble stitch. It's very hard to see being the first one. So let's go ahead and do that again. And then I'll show you at the end of the row. So to do the bobble stitch again, we're going to go into the very next stitch. So we yarn over into that next stitch, pick up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. So now we've got 5 again, yarn over and pull through all 5 stitches, and then single crochet in the next stitch. So now we've got 2 bubble stitches. My graph calls for 5. I'm going to go ahead and complete the rest of the 5 till the end of the row, and then we'll proceed. Okay, so I have finished that row of bobble stitches. I just finished doing that last single crochet to finish off that last bobble, and here's what the row looks like so far. Quite cute, likes to bubble, and the fact that this is such a small piece, it likes to curl up on me and get in my way, but yeah, that will flatten out as you continue along. So as you have noticed, one square is composed of 2 stitches, and that's the bubble stitch and the single crochet. Now each row is actually comprised of 2 rows, and that's the bubble stitch row and a single crochet row. So we have, for the first row, we have done the bubble stitch row. Now I'm going to show you how to do the single crochet row. So at the end, like I said, I've finished off my single crochet and I'm ready to proceed. So to do that, you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to chain your work, and then you're going to single crochet into that very first stitch, and single crochet into that bubble stitch, single crochet into the single crochet into the bubble, and you're just going to single crochet all the way to the end. So let's do that. Okay, so I have finished my single crochets all the way to the end of this row, and you should have 10 single crochets. And as you can see here, I have all 5 bubbles, and that's the end. That is, I have completed the first row of my graph. So now we need to move up to the next row, and I will go ahead and show you how to do that now. So what you'll need to do, because we're about to do a bubble row again, you'll just need to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn your work, and then you're just ready to do it all over again. Get out of my way. So I'll go ahead and go over the bubble stitch one more time here, because that is going to be your first stitch in that first single crochet. So to do the bubble stitch, that was yarn over, insert into that first stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go into that same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. And again, yarn over, into that same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. So I've got my 5 loops again. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 5. Now remember, to also close off this bubble stitch, you need to do a single stitch in the next stitch. And we're about to do a color change. So here's where things get a little bit more interesting. So here I've got my red, but my next stitch is actually going to be tan. So that means I need to go ahead and do my color change. Now to do a color change, and luckily for this particular project, the color changes are always going to happen on a single crochet. But to do that, you need to do what I like to call an incomplete single crochet. So let me go ahead and just show you that. you're going to make like you're doing a single crochet. So you're going to go into the next stitch and you're going to pull up your loop, but then you're going to drop your current color. And always bring it to the flat side of your piece. Never on the bubble side, always on the flat side. Then you're going to pick up your new color. Once I find the end, here we go. Pick up your new color. And then you're going to complete that single crochet. And that's it. It's pretty easy to complete the color change that way. So then you're just going to carry on as normal. Now, I personally like to crochet over my tails. Some people don't. That is strictly up to you. But I'm going to go ahead and do my next bobble stitch. Okay, so I have finished the bubble stitch, and according to my graph, I've got another color change. So that's the yellow, and I'm going to go ahead and color change to the yellow. Now I'm going to show you a couple of, I guess, yarn traveling techniques in this piece. But first, let's concentrate on the color change. So remember, for the color change, you want to do your incomplete single crochet. So in the next stitch, wait, my yarn's in the wrong spot. So into the next stitch, pull up your loop, and you've got your incomplete single crochet, your 2 loops on your hook. And you want to bring that yarn to the flat side, pick up your new color, and complete your single crochet. And there you go, your color change is complete again. Now, because with this particular graph, I've got tan, yellow, tan. So there's 1 tan, 1 yellow, 1 tan. And because it's just 1 stitch between the 2 tan colors, I like to take my yarn with me instead of cutting it and starting anew. So I'll show you what that looks like. So I've got my tan here. I just want to make sure that I crochet over it to hide it and to also bring it along with me. So I only recommend doing this for 1 bobble stitch or even 2. Any more than that, you want to go ahead and cut it. So I'm going to do my next bobble stitch, but I'm crocheting over 2 pieces here, the tail of my new color and the working yarn of my old color. And there we go. Have completed the bobble stitch for the yellow, and now we need to do another color change back to the tan. So here we go. We're going to do that incomplete single crochet. Move my current color to the flat side, pick up my new color, my tan, and complete the single crochet. And that's it. We're done with the yellow, so we can leave that behind. Don't need to travel with us. And then we'll go ahead and do our next bobble stitch. Okay, so the tan bobble stitch is complete. Going to do our incomplete because we need to go back to red here. Incomplete single crochet. However, my red's all the way over here because, like I said, if you have any more than 1 or 2 stitches in between a color, you want to go ahead and cut it instead of traveling along with it because it just doesn't look good in the front or the back. And you know, any crafter, any crocheter will let you know that the back is just as important as the front. So since we didn't travel with this red, what I am going to do is what's called making a bobbin. So that means instead of cutting it close to, back in the frame, instead of cutting it close to my project for just another end to weave in, I'm going to cut it a little bit excess. Since this is a small piece, I'm not going to cut a whole lot of excess, but cut a little bit of excess there because you can use it on your return going back. But what a lot of people tend to do with this excess, they cut a lot more depending on their graph, and then they'll wind it around like a clothespin or something like that and make a little bobbin. And having these little bobbins makes it quite easy to have multiple areas and less ends in their piece that they have to weave in. But since this is so short, I'm not going to worry about winding it around anything. So now back to continuing this row, we need to do our color change again. So I have my incomplete single crochet here. I'm bringing my current color to the flat side and switching to my new color and completing that single crochet. And then again, bubble stitch as normal. So my next bubble. And here I am about to do my last single crochet. Just make sure you do go under both loops. This whole project is work under both loops. Okay, so that's it, that's done. So you can see here I still have all my colors attached. So think of this as a bobbin, but yeah. I've got my little bobbin of red over here. So now we need to do our single crochet row to complete this row on the graph. So I'm going to chain one, turn my work, and start my single crochets. So a single here, and because I'm about to do a color change, I'm going to do an incomplete single here. Now remember, your single crochets on that return row need to be the same color as your bobble stitches. So I'm going to do my color change. I'm dropping the red and I'm picking up the tan, if I can get it, yep. Picking up the tan and completing that single crochet. So I've done my color change again, and then single crochet. And here we go, we've got another color change coming, so an incomplete single. Drop the yarn to the flat side, pick up your new color, and complete that single crochet. Now you can see here I'm pulling on these and it looks like quite a mess here. That is one of the things that you need to keep account of when you're doing this graph work. When you have a lot of bobbins and a lot of colors, it will get tangled like this. It will become a mess. So I suggest after every couple of rows or so, just take 30 seconds and untangle your bobbins. The shorter the bobbins are, like, you know, closer to your work, the easier it is to untangle and keep it neat. If you've got long strings like this, of course, the more tangled it can get and the longer you think you can go before you need to untangle them. So don't fall for that. Keep the bobbins close to your work or keep untangling after every couple of rows. So I have done my color change, and because I've only got one bubble, in between, one yellow in between the two tans, I'm going to travel with my tan again. So that means I'm going to crochet over the tan. So let's do my single crochet. And then let's do an incomplete single crochet. Drop the yarn in the back, pick up my new color, my tan, and complete that single crochet. Then we're going to single crochet and incomplete single because we've got another color change. Let's pick up our red in the back here and complete that single crochet. And then we'll single crochet and single crochet. And that's it. We have completed row number 2 according to my graph, and this is 100% complete. You've done both rows. And now we're going to jump up to the last and final third row, which should be easy since it's all one color. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So just remember to jump up to the bubble row. It's chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And bubbles, here we come. So I'm about to run out of thread here. You should know how to add more thread, but think of it as changing colors but with the same color. So I'm going to cut this in because I'm done with the red on this end. I'll just use the same string all the way through. So I'm going to cut that, and I'm going to start another piece of red here so that I can continue my bobble stitch. Okay, so I've completed my last row of bubbles, and now I'm ready to do my last single crochet row to complete this last row on my graph. So again, to do your single crochet row, let me get some slack. To do your single crochet row, you're just going to chain one and turn your work, and then you're just going to single crochet in every stitch across. Okay, so there I have finished all of my single crochets. That's a little bit loose, so we're going to pull that a little bit. All right, so that's it. I have finished all of my single crochets. I have finished all of my rows in my graph, and now I am ready to finish off. And just to do that is just a normal simple move. You're going to chain, you're going to cut your yarn, and pull your hook out. And that's it. You have finished your project. You have finished your piece. And then you want to cut any other colors that you had attached. So I'm going to cut this yellow and this tan. There, it is now untethered, and that is my piece complete. And these are kind of like Iron Man colors. I didn't think about that. But yeah, the bigger the piece, the more impressive it looks. A tiny piece looks a little weird with nothing else around it. But yeah, this was just a demonstration. And I do hope that this was helpful, that you understood every step here. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you have any further questions, or if something could be made more clear. I can certainly answer them for you, and if need be, redo this video. But yeah, I really do hope that you have enjoyed and that this was helpful, and good luck with your future bobble stitch graphing projects. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Bye!